This is JB McConville, a.k.a. J Business. I don't have any allegiance. I'm just looking for the money. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
Talking about hitting it off the post, look at Sam Graham putting down the phone right as the ice cubes hit. He's like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
I'm ready to go,
Boom.
man.
He's on.
I am ready to go.
So order is restored. I'm doing fucking my Lord again.
I'm not, although I probably should be.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, though, Sam, is that the most safest managerial job right now is neither one of our teams. It's Mel's team.
Yeah, that's true. Most safest.
Most safest.
So safe, he had to invent a level of safeness for it.
It's the top level of safe. The most.
The most. Got it.
PG County works for me. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Huston, and across the way, my fellow PG brother, Samuel Graham.
What up, what up?
Sammy, how you doing?
Doing good.
Whenever I drop some PG, you're done. You're done every time, I can tell.
Yeah, because nobody gets it but us.
Yep.
The other thing is I'll just jump into it real quick. I'll go into it later, but we got the yak.
We sipping on some yak. That's what's up.
PGAF.
Mm-hmm. Did our gin and juice with our deuces. Got the yak. Did an Alizé show. All we're missing is a hypno show, man.
Ooh.
We are recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, to name a few. Please rate, subscribe, and review, and do share with your friends. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Sure. We are at DUfootballshow on all the social medias and DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Yeah, beautiful. So Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirits industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every show. Sam, you already hinted at it, but tell the people what we are sipping on tonight.
All right. So we have got Chalfonte Cognac Special Reserve. Was rated 93 points by the Beverage Tasting Institute. Comes in at 80 proof. You've got some honeyed fruits, berries, spiced fruitcake, caramel, and honeysuckle on the palate with this one. It's obviously a bit sweet up front, being made from grapes. $29.99 to $39.99 on the shelf, and just a great little everyday cognac.
Yeah, sometimes
solid, ticks every box. It's no Louis Trey.
Oh, of course not.
But it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean there's Mason Ferran, and then the other big houses all make some really great stuff. But you know what? In a pinch, nice price point, something that people don't typically think. Everybody always wants to do rum or bourbon in their eggnog. A little bit of brandy in the eggnog really hits the spot.
Yep.
You know, starting to get a little chilly outside, a little brandy to warm up the inside there. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. So I'm being made fun of, but I'm a traditionalist that I feel like. And this comes from generations of people that would take a little bit of warmed cognac prior to bed on major holidays, basically. And I do that on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas.
There you
So
go.
this is my holiday bottle of cognac. It's not something I drink every day, but it's damn good. And I'll be finishing that fifth off by the end of the year.
Unlike me, who drinks an entire bottle of whiskey and a whole bunch of beer just to knock out the sounds that are my mother-in-law screeching the entire holiday season.
Now,
hi, honey, I love you.
Now, I do drink during the day still.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Hashtag day drinking.
Hells yeah.
On those days. However, to finish the evening and cap off the holiday, a little glass of slightly warmed cognac is all that can cleanse the palate.
All right, good. Well, then, let's have a great show. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Be careful. I got a fancy glass.
That's all right. Give you your Riedel cognac sipping glass there.
Ooh.
Y'all are smart not to give me one with a stem, so I can't knock it over as easy.
All right, good. All right. We're going to start with the top. What?
Drink responsibly.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just got it in.
Yes. For those of you who do not know, I have this big fucking note that says, "Remember to say drink responsibly, you fucking tool." And he barely ever remembers to do it.
I drew an arrow. I actually drew some stuff around the arrow to draw more attention to it, but I went on about something else and stopped looking at my notes.
And still almost forgot.
Well, because I stopped looking at my notes, that arrow was irrelevant.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into it. You know what, Jose, you're right. We're not going to make it all about you first. We're going to save you to the end. We start with the top 4 sides in the league. 2 of them played each other, and the top 2, well, heck, all 3 had a little bit of VAR controversy in their games. Manchester City 2, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2, Palace 1, Leicester 2, Brighton 0. Frenetic first half for City Chelsea, wasn't it, Sammy?
Yeah, absolutely. N'Golo Kante opened the scoring really well, strong. But the real story for me was Tammy Abraham just putting off Fernandinho as he chased back for a last-ditch tackle. I think he may have gotten there, or at least had a chance to. But Tammy Abraham stepped in front of him, gave him a little shoulder, and sent him flying into the back of the goal, shielding the ball, allowing it to roll into the back of the net.
Yeah.
And no one's talking about it. And as well done and mature play from a very young, relatively inexperienced player.
A striker at that, too. Not normally. Strikers normally looking for glory, not doing the dirty work.
Exactly. So good on him for that. Chelsea actually possessed more of the ball, but only registered 2 shots on target. It was a bit unfortunate when Kevin De Bruyne equalized as well. Took a deflection. Kepa was already going the one way. Ball deflected back the other way. And then Riyad Mahrez.
Own goal number 3 or 4 off of Zuma now.
Well, technically it's not an own goal because it was already on target.
But it went off Zuma.
Yeah, it deflected off Zuma, which is unfortunate. Riyad Mahrez with an archetypal goal from him. On the right side, cutting in on his left foot. It's Arjen Robben-esque.
And just curved
not
it
as
in,
spectacular. Yeah.
It just looked like a pass. Honestly,
Yep.
It looked like a pass into the back of the net.
For me, it was a very entertaining game. Sloppy from City by their standards. And Kepa did get let off the hook once or twice, especially on Aguero's shot that hit the woodwork, rescuing him. But, yeah, I mean, City created some chances, weren't as clinical as usual, and Chelsea hung around for a bit, and City ended up really fortunately walking out with a 2-1 win.
Kind of what we expected, don't you think? It was last week on injury time, we said we were like, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea goes up and then City scores 2 and wins 2-1.
Yeah, I think I called this a draw.
Yeah, you called a draw.
If I remember, on the NBC Sports app on Friday when I was putting my things in my predictor app for the 50 grand,
yeah,
I actually made this a 2-1 Chelsea win.
I made it a 2-1 City win. It was the only one I hit. Everything else I missed.
I got the 2-1 Palace Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Chelsea's the real deal, it looks like. Now we'll see what happens when they come up against some hardship, get knocked out of a cup, or have a pretty hefty defeat, and see if Frank can gather the boys back again.
Yeah.
But after that initial 4-0 to Manchester United, they've looked the business.
Yeah, so you lost to United, you lost to Liverpool, you lost to City. Other than that, you're playing pretty decent ball. They
scoring goals, everybody's contributing.
The draw to Leicester doesn't look so bad now. Hell, the way Sheffield's playing, the draw to Sheffield doesn't look so bad now. Like they're doing good.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with them. The way they started, I thought they were going to be in shambles, and they're not.
And our boy Pat there backdoor covers his under. Yep. Because of a VAR goal called back on Sterling. Second time he got called offsides by a shoulder blade.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The margins are absolutely ridiculous. But at least it's a black and white decision with offsides. There's a few others that happened this weekend that apparently were subjective, and they fucked them up again.
In the next couple of games that we're about to talk about. Yep. Liverpool, you would have thought the win against City would have galvanized them and that they would start to kind of go on cruise control for a while. Now, they're getting points, so it's hard to be critical. They keep getting 3 points. But yet again, their opponent played better than they did.
Yeah, they really did, to be honest with you. I believe they outshot them 6-4. Yeah, they outshot them 6-4, and they also had a goal disallowed. Palace did. For a shove in the back off the ball from a corner.
Yeah.
Now, it was a foul. I agree.
Yeah.
Goal should have been disallowed, no problem. My problem with VAR at this point is where's the consistency?
Right.
Because there's other things that happened. It's not that you should have allowed this goal to stand. It's that you should have caught the other ones.
What I think I'm seeing, Sam, is that defenders are allowed to get away with all the grabbing, all the pushing, all the whatever they want to do on every single corner kick. But if an attacker pushes a defender, and if in any way, shape, or form that involves a goal, it is being called off. So if that's fine. Again, we talk about this whole clear and obvious thing. If you are setting that as the parameter of clear and obvious, then that needs to start being clear and obvious across the board.
Across the board, yeah.
And until we start seeing a penalty shot given because a defender pushes a player to the ground, then
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Mane was a bit fortunate. Oh, by the way, actually, referee didn't go look at it either.
Of course not.
Not a single ref looked at him this weekend, I don't think.
No, but they said they were going to use the TVs more.
Right. Yeah.
Remember, they only got to do it once, and then they've used it more than they've already have.
Absolutely. Mane was a bit fortunate to get his opener. The ball deflected and hit both posts after a touch from the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those, what are you going to do? Good football from Palace for the equalizer. Well, really, it was just good football from Wilfred Zaha. And then Benteke cut in inside and stayed on his feet for a change. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bang. Wilfred Zaha scores. And Benteke didn't let his head drop from a scissor kick he had a few minutes prior.
If that had gone in, oh my God, if that had gone in. You know, it's been hard for him getting goals, and if that would have been the goal that breaks the duck,
that'd have been all right.
Oh man, that would have
been
been
hard
sick.
is an understatement as well. Massive understatement. Been hard. He hasn't scored in a long time. Unlucky from Palace after a melee in the box with just their own team. Found the ball fall to Firmino, and Firmino getting his first goal for a long time with a pretty decent finish. But what are you going to do? You know,
not as drastic on that play, but a couple of things worth bringing up. Palace player just before that corner kick gets hit in the head, goes down with a clear head injury. Ref doesn't blow the whistle. Ball goes down the pitch. They get a corner kick. Then he addresses the head injury. You've established an advantage, referee.
Exactly.
You're supposed to blow that whistle right away.
Yeah.
And Van Dijk definitely pushed a defender to the ground right before Firmino knocked in the goal. But, hey, that's, it's okay. It's Liverpool.
Well, that's how it goes. The other thing, fun fact, as long as you had made your bet before Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for Liverpool to win the league with Betway, an English betting site, they have paid you out on Liverpool winning the league.
That's just an automatic precursor that they're going to fucking bottle it up and lose it. It's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure an Everton fans own Betway.
Oh, yeah. Just to F with people.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I can't confirm that at all. I can't find anything that has the ownership of Betway being a supporter of any particular club.
So Fox is on cruise control right now, brother, aren't they?
They're getting it done, ugly or not. I mean, it took to, the 63rd minute or something like that?
Yeah.
And then Vardy didn't even score from open play. It happened to be a penalty.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting it done. Brighton had more of the ball actually than Leicester did.
This is what Chris Potter's team does. They're gonna be more possession based and good, bad, or indifferent.
Problem is they didn't register a shot on target.
Right. You gotta shoot.
Fucking do something with it.
Right.
You got it now. That's good. One step in the right direction.
Now take a shot.
Yeah. But you can't win a fucking football match if you don't shoot the goddamn ball.
No, you can't. Sorry,
So,
Russ.
so I don't know what that is. But Iosi Perez scored first, and then Vardy netted a pen. Overall, it was actually a pretty entertaining game, despite there only being, I think, 5 shots on target overall.
Yeah.
Well, overall, all from Leicester.
Back and forth.
Yeah, but it was
back and
a
forth.
pretty decent little game. I wasn't disappointed.
So I want to go to the penalty. So Vardy takes the penalty because it's not just as simple as Vardy scores a penalty. Because Vardy steps up to take the first penalty, misses. Matt Ryan makes a save. Maddison comes in, head ball to the back of the net. They go to VAR. Now, VAR shows that Maddison had encroached. But it also showed that multiple Brighton players on the bottom side of the box had also encroached. So what does the referee do? Allow a retake of the kick. And Vardy scores. Aren't you rewarding the team that broke the rule? Because it seems like, okay, Maddison, both teams had encroached, but Maddison's encroachment actually affected the play on the field, where Brighton's encroachment had no impact on it whatsoever.
I would, at that point, say who encroached first. If Madison was first in the box, it should have just been a goal kick.
Right.
And that's it. It's not American football. It's not offsetting penalties, just the result stands. That's not how it happens.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
I'm sure it's something written in the rule itself, right? But it just doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't feel right. Now,
No.
I mean, I'm sure the ref called it correctly, and that's the way it's supposed to go.
I
it just doesn't.
I wouldn't bet money on that.
But it just doesn't feel right that the keeper did the job. The keeper made the save. And
Well, that's just your keeper-colored glasses.
of course. But then,
Keeper colored glasses.
That's your keeper-colored glasses. That's a goalkeepers union talking there,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But then, when we talk about an offside, okay, then coincidentally, offsides. A player can be offsides if they have no impact on the goal whatsoever. It does not matter.
Correct.
Right. Well, then why does the encroachment of the two players on the lower side of the box matter at all when it had zero effect on the play?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So it just seemed odd to me.
I gotcha. I'm with you. I don't disagree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
So a little something about the Foxes in December. Their next 5 matches, well, I mean, for the whole month, 5 of their 7 matches are against the bottom 5 clubs in the league.
And they now find themselves in 5th.
Yes, I believe so.
No, you
No.
said Foxes. Leicester. They're in second
Second. Yeah, they're still in second.
think. Now I
Chelsea
gotta
fell to
look it up.
4th. Chelsea fell to 4th.
with their loss. And City's back in 3rd.
Yep.
Wolves is who I was thinking of, is in 5th.
Yeah, the Wolves have bumped all the way up to 5th. But the 2 big games that Foxes have, though, are both the week of Christmas, where they go to City and host Liverpool. So I think we'll learn a lot about the Foxes by the end of December.
We'll learn a lot about all 3 of those clubs, and we'll see really how the Club World Cup has affected Liverpool then.
Yeah.
That'll be probably their biggest opponent following the Club World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And just before the Club World Cup, they have the Merseyside Derby on 3 days rest.
yeah.
You know, granted, Everton sucks balls right now, but
All right,
that
good.
game,
He said it. I didn't have to.
but that game is still a tough game.
Oh, of
and
course.
That game
In
is
any
still going
derby.
to, even if it's a Liverpool 5-0 thrashing, that's going to take a lot out of Liverpool.
In any derby, you can throw the form out the window. I mean, look at how shite we were and drew Tottenham or beat them 5-3 a few seasons ago. And then even last season had the 1-1 or 2-2, whatever it was, and we didn't play particularly well. You could throw the form out the window in a derby of that magnitude.
Or of course, the fact that Liverpool lost the league at Goodison Park last year. Rounding out some of the games in a segment that we like to call "Oh, so that happened." Wolverhampton 2, Bournemouth 1, Burnley 3, Watford 0, Aston Villa 2, Newcastle 0, and Manchester United 3, Sheffield United 3. After a rough start, Sam, Wolves find themselves in 5th fucking place.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say for this one, with Bournemouth being at home, Simon Francis being sent off changed the game more than João Moutinho's goal.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that being said,
Oh, what a goal.
João Moutinho's goal was fucking brilliant.
That was fucking
It was
sick.
fucking brilliant. It couldn't beat it. That was awesome.
No.
The ass
Brilliant.
fell out of it. Everything. It was fantastic. It was perfectly placed. It was a height where the goalkeeper couldn't reach it. It was at full stretch. It was absolutely fantastic. That free kick, but it's Bournemouth at home, so you always fancy Bournemouth at home.
You also always fancy Wolves to not play particularly well against lesser opponents on the road.
Right. So
AKA dropping all 6 points to Huddersfield Town last year.
yes, it was a moment of magic, but I still felt like Bournemouth could get into the game. And then Simon Francis, you silly boy. You silly, silly boy. No reason to make that foul 2 steps beyond midfield to pull back maybe Ruben Neves or whoever
Yeah.
it was.
Just dumb.
For a second yellow. Just absolutely terrible. The first tackle, his first yellow, fine. He cleaned him out outside the box, had to, where João Moutinho scored. He was in behind, and he was going to make something happen with Raul Jimenez and a couple others rushing down through the penalty spot and into the 6-yard box. So you had to think that something was going to happen there anyway. Might as well clean him out. I'm outside the box. It's safe. See what happens. All right, fine. The guy pulled something out of his ass. What are you going to do? But this is so fucking ridiculous. And then another free kick, caught Bournemouth sleepwalking, and they find themselves 2-0 down. And that, with 10 men, was always going to be difficult to come back from. They
got
tried
a goal.
to.
They got a goal. They could have. They had opportunities at the end, but that was also just Wolves packing it in.
Yeah. And after Ruben Neves's goal the other day from like 40 yards out, last week or week before, whatever it was, or match week before, he had like 3 shots from 35 to 40 yards out this game.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's all he's doing now.
And on target, too.
Yeah.
On target. That's the key thing.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Don't look now. Burnley's top 7. Back-to-back 3-0 wins.
Manchester United, Tottenham, and Arsenal, not in that order, are 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Yeah. Everton 16th.
Oh, fucking shoot me.
West Ham 17th. Like, it just go figure.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this game? That scoreline does not at all
Do justice. No.
Watford was the better team the entire
Absolutely.
game until Burnley got a goal.
So Troy Deeney's finally back for Watford, which will help them once he starts hitting on all cylinders. Once he's fully match fit, I think it's going to go a little bit better because he did look off the pace a bit. But Watford had 2/3 of the ball, but they only managed 4 shots on target. And part of that, though, was the shithousery from Burnley. Tactical fouls, bringing people down. There was a lot of shithousery that Burnley did. Tchaikovsky probably could have been sent off in that game.
There were 5 fouls that he could have been yellow carded for, and I don't think he saw a single yellow.
No. Well, one of them, the one at the top of the box, I think he got the ball first, and the Watford player, I think maybe Decore, landed on top of his leg, and they blew for a foul against Tchaikovsky. He was trying to jump over him, landed on top of him, and then fell, and they blew the foul, which I thought that was a little bit ridiculous. A late penalty from Barnes followed up a Chris Woods. Actually, it was pretty decent work off of I think it was a deflected corner that kind of fell to him. And no, it was Tchaikovsky keeping it alive at the far post, but deflected it off of the defender he had marking him. And Chris Wood, over the shoulder, just kind of tucked it home. It was well done to him. Like I said, Ashley Barnes later, and then Tchaikovsky, for all of his hard work and hard fouling, had a double attempt that finally went in.
Villa getting the all-important 6-pointer at home.
Yeah.
If you want to stay up, this is the game you need to win. Newcastle at home, you need to beat them. You beat them 2-0.
Yeah, and Hurahan was fantastic again.
Oh, it was lovely.
That free kick was brilliant.
It was, Jack went up before him. I took a picture. I had to rewind. And they're like all sitting there talking. And then Jack just reaches over, strokes him behind the ear. And I thought to myself, oh, that guy's scoring.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just the way they set it up and the angle. Oh, it was a delight.
Apparently, all you need is your captain's loving, warm embrace to inspire you to score.
Well, it also worked the second time. Ming did the same thing.
Tyrone Mings,
yeah. Went up to him and had a little pep talk. The ball didn't reach to Tyrone, but it reached the guy next to him. I can't remember.
El Ghazi.
El
Ghazi stole in front of Mings.
Yeah.
Mings was there.
Yeah.
But El Ghazi stole in front of him and got the final touch, which is
Didn't
fine.
matter.
No,
The
you
ball
got to do
went
what you got to do. The ball went in the back of the net.
Ghazi got a little eager later on too with his the third goal that got called back because
Yeah.
he was just a little ahead of himself. He had just taken a moment to set himself. He could have gotten a legal goal, but I'm not going to discount enthusiasm. I did. The English commentators crack me up, and now that I'm paying more attention to football, so I even call it a football, not soccer. I'm doing much better.
Take advantage of the time you have because it's not going to be much longer.
Watching football or
No,
talking
no.
on the mic?
You talking on the mic. Mute button is so in your future, so let's get to it.
So the commentator had a great quote, and I'm just going to start writing these down every week. Exact words. Grealish, so easy on the eye and silky with the touch. Unselfish.
There you go.
Sounds like a singles ad.
It does. It really should have been his, being a right-footed player from that angle.
Now, produce me a mute button.
A moat button.
moat
Produce
button.
me a moat.
A mute button.
I am a king, and this is my castle.
Mute it.
Yeah.
Mute.
Produce
I'm
me.
old man Houston.
All the
I'm
mute.
gonna sit on my
All
porch.
of the mute button. Hit that fucking mute button.
So, the first goal was brilliant. The way they worked the angle just right to create the space around the wall, and you would never expect a left footer from that position to fire near post. But just that little touch to Grealish, who stopped it and changed the angle of the delivery. Be a little pissed off at Newcastle's wall for not reacting to it fast enough. But Dubravka had way too much ground to make up, and it was a very well struck free kick.
Dean said that was something they've been working on in training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second goal was obviously a very good free kick again from Horahan. Great delivery. It was just far enough outside of the 6. Goalkeeper couldn't come to it. And the defenders were running back towards their own goal, a little bit at 6s and 7s. Mings and El Ghazi were there, and El Ghazi ended up getting the tap in. And it was a great performance all around. What I will say, though, from Newcastle is they only had a third of the ball, still managed 5 shots on target. And for them, for a team of that stature at this point in time, they're not going to have a lot of the ball. So the fact that they still created 5 chances is good. However, and it's encouraging, they need to be more clinical with their chances. They have to take their chances, or they're going to find it very difficult this season.
Well, so on to United versus United.
No thoughts? Yeah, nothing to say?
No, we're going to keep it rolling.
I covered it. I mean, he's talking a lot of shit for a guy that has to do a shot this week, and we don't.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, hit the mute button.
Thank you. I like when she self-edits. Makes my job so much easier. Sheffield and Man U would have been the opening of the show. Like, this was a great little game.
Phil Jones was terrible.
Oh, my God, was he
It
bad.
was a fun on the eye.
Yeah.
Phil Jones was terrible. One of the commentators, I was listening on XM because I was working, and it's the Talk Sport feed. One of the commentators said, I may get this just off, but one of the commentators said, this is one of the worst 20 minutes he's ever seen from a professional footballer ever.
Yep. Now,
It's absolutely pitiful.
Now, what's funny is they go up 2-0, and then Man U pulls a frickin' with Alex in the stands there, pull an old Alex Man U and score 3 goals in 7 minutes, and suddenly find themselves up 3-2.
All right, so here's what I wrote. You ready? Phil Jones was terrible. Got pushed aside by Mousset like a rag doll. Flex scored. Man U was outshot 8-5 by fucking Sheffield United. They needed a 19-year-old Brandon Williams to start the United comeback with a very mature strike, actually, on his weaker foot.
Excellent shot.
It was fantastic. Good ball from Marcus Rashford, found Mason Greenwood, who's an 18-year-old with a great run, who tapped in. And Marcus Rashford then capped off the third in 7 minutes on a pass from Dan James. And for those 7 minutes, the world had Manchester United back. Then, back to their current shit form, and McBurney scored the equalizer, and Manchester fucking United drew with Sheffield fucking United.
So I think it's very important that we establish all the names for all the different clubs here, is as my producer mutes me as I'm in mid-sentence. Worry about production there, sweetheart, okay? Let's just worry about production.
Borderline sexist with the sweetheart added in.
Sweetheart. Oh, my goodness.
Good thing we're married.
It was meant to be. Mute button. We need to establish what
God.
everybody's particular names are, because there's so much tram-shamacrity going on right now that people might lose sight and call teams by their wrong name. Newcastle is the dumpster fire. Reason why they are the dumpster fire is because Mike Ashley has a propensity for fireplaces. Well, namely, puking in said fireplaces.
Yes.
Manchester United is the shit show.
Yes.
Very important to establish. As we talked with our friend Chris on the socials this weekend, who's a big West Ham supporter, we have decided they will now be dubbed Clusterfuck.
Got it.
I would like to propose for your team, we call it Perpetual Mediocrity. I think that might be a great name for your squad.
Sounds okay.
And then my club is a Malort of a team.
There you go.
So we want to make sure we know everybody by their right, proper shit form names, correct?
Yes, and now that Manchester United has been taken back down to their level in those last 2 minutes of the game, it is now Sheffield fucking United.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're here to stay.
It definitely looks like they're here to stay. I was convinced that they were going to fall apart, and even if they were to fall apart the rest of the way, I think they've already done enough to secure themselves.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Even if this isn't like Blackpool where everybody figured them out and then you just saw Blackpool go from top 5 to 18th place in a matter of 2 months. We're not going to see this with
I
Sheffield.
don't think so,
Sheffield
no.
sticking around.
The big thing is, can they stay together in the summer? Can I almost said Dean Smith. That's wrong. That's not right. Can the manager hold on to the players? Can the manager himself not get poached?
Yeah.
That's going to be the question. There's going to be a lot of jobs coming up in the summer by the looks of things, which takes us nicely into our next segment. All about the transition, bro.
Well done. Very professional.
Thank you.
So one team fires their manager, of course, hires the special one. And then the other 3 teams we're going to talk about tonight are probably damn near close to firing their managers.
One of them probably is.
So we got Tottenham 3, West Ham 2, Norwich 2, Everton 0, Arsenal 2, Southampton 2. Now, I want to take a different look at this, Sam. So far in these games, all we've done is kind of talk about the results. But let's face it. Your game was you guys escape with a point against the team you should have beat the shit out of. We, yet again, lose to another newly promoted side 2-0.
At home.
At home. Twice now at home. And West Ham cannot seem to get it together.
West Ham played well for 8 minutes.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the shit performance. You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about the 3 managers that are about to probably lose their fucking jobs. That's really what I want to talk about.
All right. What would you like to know?
Well, first off, obviously Tottenham, Jose. We're going to talk about you for a little bit. I'm just going to wait and hold my breath till
he
you
asked us not to make it about him.
Well, we didn't, and all we're going to do right now is Jose. I wait patiently for you to give me something. I know you will.
It's coming.
I know you will.
Right. But how could it be all about him anyway when my hashtag on my back of my shirt is it's all about me?
Yeah,
So
very true.
sit down and take a seat, the quote-unquote special one.
Yeah. Tottenham get the win.
Tottenham got the win. It was still not the greatest performance from them ever. They let West Ham score twice late on. But they did have a little bit of a siege mentality in the first half. And after those first 4 minutes where Declan Rice was bossing for a few minutes, that was it. West Ham shit the bed for the next 82, and then they scored those 2 late goals. And that's it, man. They are abject at best. After that 4-minute flurry to start the game off, West Ham were absolutely terrible. I don't think they want to perform for Pellegrini.
It seems like nothing Pellegrini's doing is working either.
Nope. And on this list, I would probably have to say, because West Ham is better known for sacking managers, I would have to say he's probably the one that's most worried about his job.
I'd agree.
Last few years, they've gone through a fair amount of managers in the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe even longer than that, to be fair. I don't think, and Rafa Benitez apparently wants to come in from the wilderness of China.
Oh, of course he does.
So,
because he wants to show up Newcastle. He wants to go be at a better club and show it up.
Absolutely. So I would most worry for Pellegrini.
Why is Roberto still playing goalkeeper?
Fabianski had hip surgery.
Okay, there's other goalkeepers. The first goal, I swear to Christ, Roberto moved out of the way and slapped his hands at it as the ball went by him.
Playing patty cake.
The ball was going at his chest, and he moved his body away from the ball.
I'd rather have the 18-year-old U23 keeper in there.
Play a kid.
To be honest.
Play a kid.
Yeah.
Why not play a kid?
Absolutely. I mean, you're not getting the results anyway. May as well get the kid some experience.
Yeah.
This dude's terrible.
Actively costing you games currently.
Absolutely. Marco Silva. I still don't think he knows what his best team is.
No.
Obviously, there's a lot of injuries that go along with that, but you all don't look like you have a plan half the time.
He doesn't know how to adjust in a game.
No. He's making terrible decisions. In the final third especially, we've spoken about it over the last month kind of at nauseum.
To the corner, cross, to the corner, cross.
With no
to
real
the corner,
aim or direction
cross.
either.
With one guy in the box.
Right.
And you're going with Shank Tosun, who's short. Like, at least put a tall fucker in there to put a head on a ball, right?
Yeah. Why Moise Kean can't get a game from the start,
no idea.
I don't know. There's something going on, and these players that are on the field are better than that.
Oh, absolutely. This team is better than they're performing.
And they're playing like they want the manager sacked.
Feels like it.
Arsenal's doing the same thing.
Yeah. I would have sworn we would have already been talking about Silva being fired. And it sounds like Everton wants to do exactly what I was hoping they wouldn't do, which is basically he has till Liverpool. So, great.
And what's the thing now is David Moyes comes back with the understanding that it's to the end of the season, potentially.
Possibly him. They want Arteta, but I can't imagine why Arteta would want to leave City to come to us, especially in the middle of a season.
He's linked with us. And he's got ties, obviously, to you all also, emotionally.
Right.
But that's the one saving grace I think that we have is if we decide to grow the balls to fire Unai Emery, we're a bigger club with a bigger budget, period.
Yeah, precisely. Better opportunity for Arteta.
Do we want to lose out Arteta to you by waiting an extra 2 weeks? You know what I mean? Or do we can Emery, hire Arteta almost immediately, and move forward?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or do we wait 2 weeks, sit on our hands, rest on our laurels, or Yannies?
Well, Allegri. Isn't Allegri still out there?
Allegri's still out there. Yeah, I want Allegri. I want to throw money at Diego Simeone and have him quit Atletico Madrid. I want a lot of things. Julian, I'd be happier with Julian Nagelsmann.
You just want that because you want some defense on your team.
Yeah, I want some fire, some passion. I want somebody to get booted in the fucking face in that dressing room because they're playing like a bunch of pussies. And it's really fucking annoying. I can't stand it. Your guys are almost, in some games, you came out, what was the last result you had that you won right before the international break?
We beat Southampton 2-1, a team that you had to eke out a draw against.
Right. And you had the emotional comeback against Spurs to equalize.
Right, after Andres Gomez's injury.
And then you come back from the international break, and you put in the most abject performance of the season for you guys so far against struggling Norwich, who hasn't scored goals for real in a month and a half.
They've been horrible. Cantwell gets on the pitch for the first time in a month and just whips right through our defense and scores a goal.
At home.
Yeah, at home.
What are Pellegrini, Emery, and Silva, what are they saying at halftime? Because the second half performances aren't any fucking better.
No.
None of them.
No, they aren't.
None of them.
No.
If it wasn't for Alexandre Lacazette's quick thinking, we would have lost that game 2-0.
It feels like you almost should have lost that game 2-0.
Southampton had chances.
Yeah.
I spoke to a couple of friends that are Arsenal supporters that live in London, and the people in the stadium, you could get a little bit of a sense of it from the television, but the people in the stadium didn't cheer Lacazette's goal. You get the sense that the supporters wanted to lose the game so Emery would be sacked.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And the fact that he wasn't cleaning out his office immediately after that game shows that the board has no balls. The same with Mushari and the same with the Dildo brothers.
Everton fans at Goodison were actively singing "You're Getting Sacked in the Morning" to Marco Silva after the game. So we do a little thing here on the DU Football Show where if our team loses, our producer slams the phone down onto the table, making an exceptionally loud thud that you can hear right into the show as she tries to videotape us.
That is the dong for Everton's loss.
Yes. So
it's better than what we did last season where I just laid my dong on the table.
That's true. So if we lose, we do a shot of Malort, which is if earwax threw up, it is quite frankly the shittiest alcohol in the world. So what I did was normally I would pour a single shot, but Sam, as you notice here, I poured a nice big fat double shot.
Oh, you did do a double.
Because we have successfully lost to all three newly promoted sides by a score of 2-0 in each. Every single one, they score, then they get a late goal to seal the game. And two of those games at which we lost at home. I feel like all those twos are telling me something. It's telling me I need to double my fucking shot because I'm the sorry sap that decided to root for fucking Everton. Cheers, dicks.
Can you do me a favor and pass me that bottle, please? Because like any self-respecting alcoholic, I feel like that more self-punishment will eventually lead, Mel, thank you, that more self-destruction will eventually lead to happier pastures. So I will do a single shot in the hopes that there's only one more day Unai Emery's in charge.
You know what, Mr. Graham? I appreciate your willingness to accept that. You know what? You probably deserve to do one because you got away with one.
It was terrible. And I hate that. Getting away with it against Southampton is being proud of having sex with a hooker. Well, mate, you paid for it.
Which one of these three gets sacked first?
I'd have to say Pellegrini. The Dildo Brothers have sacked managers in the past frequently. The players are used to them changing. I feel like it's going to be them.
Do we think they all last this week and they have this weekend to save their job?
West Ham is the only one. No, you guys don't have Europe either.
Yeah.
Silva will last the weekend.
Well, Silva, they pretty much have already said. Ultimately, I think Silva is linked to his cup game.
We've already secured qualification into the knockout stages of the next round in the Europa League. I hope we lose on Thursday. And that's what I've resorted to, voting against my club. Actively wanting my team not to win so the manager gets sacked, because that is what it's going to take for these idiots to stand up and do something. West Ham, like I said, they have a propensity to sack managers. I think he'll get the weekend because it's Monday night. They haven't done it yet. Why wouldn't you announce it yesterday or this morning?
Yeah.
Why wait till Tuesday? Why wait till Wednesday? That doesn't make any sense.
The board met last night for Everton. I'm surprised that I didn't hear this morning that Silva was sacked.
And nothing's come out yet. So nothing's going to happen before the weekend, I'd imagine.
They want to have their backup already, quote unquote, secured. So
right.
I assume they're talking to someone right now.
If those candidates haven't been talked to already, then you might be stuck with another couple weeks.
Yeah.
We've got Thursday, Sunday. So waiting for Thursday, if they didn't do it this morning, is dumb, because that only gives somebody 2 days to put something in place. So you give Freddie Ljungberg the reins, because Unai Emery's going to take his staff with him when he gets canned. So Freddie Ljungberg's the only one that's going to be there to coach the first team, which is fine. I'd like that. But I think you have to get the money together, and you have to throw every dime you have at Max Allegri, at Diego Simeone. Hell, at this point, at fucking Pochettino.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Imagine what he could do with a decent group of players.
My side, they're talking about Moyes to just
nobody
basically...
cares about the dig.
No, not at all. It was a good dig.
I know, but nobody gave a shit.
Well, because I was already formulating another thought and not really paying attention to you. So
thank you.
You can wallow in that misery.
Fuck it.
If you're saying if Everton's already rumored to go ahead and go with Moyes, which frankly I'm not necessarily against, if the idea is he's here to the end of the year to make sure we don't go down, basically. But if you're going to go with that, why not just let Unsworth and Ferguson manage the team the rest of the way? At least they're real, true blue Evertonians.
And if anybody could get a song, it's
kick
Big
their
Dunk.
player. Oh yeah, Big Dunk. Big Dunk would just look at me and go, "You're gonna fucking play, and you're gonna fucking play right now, and that's all there is to it. Or I'm gonna fucking choke you out." And,
right? If you don't do it, my fork could kill you.
And they're just looking at him, and players will just go, "Yes, yes, sir,
yes, sir,
yes, sir,
yes, sir."
It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. So, what we do in this segment here is just kind of, in case we have some new listeners checking us out, each week, Sam, our good friend and degenerate gambler, Pat, listeners who sometimes submit picks, and myself pick games against the odds. Currently, I'm down $311, and Graham is down $1,285. Ooh, $8,500. That sounded wrong. $1,285. That is what you are down. I can't speak.
$1,285.
Yes, English is fun. As he slowly chips away at his child's college fund. So, Sammy, how about you give us a winner this week? It'd be something different, interesting, fun. Just a winner?
I don't even want to do this anymore.
Oh, that's right. You got to feed the cup of losers.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even want to do this anymore.
As tradition for myself and Mr. Graham, whenever we go to the horse track, we always have a drink, and that first one to finish a drink, we make that cup the reserved cup for any losing tickets that we throw in because we feel if we feed the cup of losers, the betting gods will give us winners. So far, that has not worked very well for Sam.
No.
For me, it has worked pretty well lately. But go ahead.
You're still down a lot of money. Anyway,
A lot less than you.
this week. So last week I had Arsenal to win and Villa to win in a parlay. Believe was going to pay me around $6.85 or something like that. Ended up losing $200. So this week I've gone for more self-hatred, but a little bit safer. Jamie Vardy to score at any time and Sadio Mane to score at any time at plus 242.
Okay, so Mane and who else?
Vardy.
Oh, Vardy's definitely scoring against Everton. That's going to happen.
Yeah. So I went with Vardy and Mane in a parlay, both to score at any time. Both of them were negative on the money line.
Okay. But together, they're a positive.
In a parlay, it's a plus 242 on a $100 bet.
Excellent. So talking a little bit about our degenerate gambling friend, Pat, we've had him on the show before. And to explain to you what kind of degenerate he is, he basically bets soccer because he wants something to watch on TV and to bet before he actually watches college football. And the time that we had him on the show, this was actually brilliant. He was betting the halftime over-under of Michigan State versus the Maryland Terrapins in basketball while we were recording the show. So that describes the type of degenerate we have in Pat. So without further ado.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Now, typically what Pat will do is he will always take the Saturday primetime game, so the one that's always going to be on NBC at about 12:30. And typically these are very, very good games. This week, not so much. All right, so from Pat. Well, after an awesome VAR call, I'm $100 up. And let's ride that luck train right into the game of the weekend. Southampton host Watford. And boy, if there's one way to make you care about a game you don't care about, put some money on it. This is just going to be a gamble because looking at the numbers, who the fuck knows? One thing I do know, these teams are like to finish games at a draw. So let's go ahead and gamble $100 to win $235 and keep my lucky streak going. So going to go with Southampton and Watford to draw.
That fucked me last time when I did Watford Norwich, so.
Yeah, and you know what I bet that game?
What's that?
I bet Norwich to win, and Norwich won. So now,
good for you.
I have won 3.
Hashtag humble brag.
I have won 3 weeks in a row, Sam. I am on a heater.
And
Digging
you can
myself
ditch
out
the
of the
humble
hole.
from that hashtag now.
I getting myself out of the hole. So it is time.
Big Sam's Lock of the
You know
Week.
what the worst part about that is I can't even talk shit about it anymore because he's on a treble.
I know.
Normally I say 20% of the time it works 100% of the
it's
time.
better.
But no, now 30% of the time it works 100% of the time.
Hashtag PG County math.
Gotta
When you're
follow
on
my
your cruise-
tried and true method.
When you're on your cruise,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jerk off on your MVP trophy.
Do not fuck with my MVP-ness.
Jizzing right on his face.
No, you will not. I am an MVP, goddammit.
And that's the kind of punditry you find on the Drunker United Football Show.
Sorry, Russ, by the way. So this week,
Sorry, Russ. Why? Because he's going to be here to watch it?
well, no, because I said, God damn it. I always got to apologize
Sorry,
to Russ
Russ.
whenever I say, God damn it. Sorry, Russ.
Sorry, Russ.
Sorry, Russ.
Sorry, Russ.
Yeah. Sorry, Russ.
You just title this one, Sorry, Russ.
Everybody, one time.
have to.
1, 2, 3.
Sorry,
Russ. So, Sammy, this week I'm going to take your team playing Norwich.
Please bet more than $100.
I am going to be taking the over at 1.5 goals. Because you guys are definitely scoring on them, and they sure as fuck are scoring on you. So there'll be at least 2 goals.
What's that get you,
And
like
I'm going to hit that
17?
bet. It's actually with the score, it will give me a plus 130. So,
Really?
Yep, I got plus 130 odds
might-
on a 1.5 over.
I might have to rethink my bet. That's
Now-
a pretty decent odds.
Now, we kind of stumbled all through it, but this is a pretty decent segment, right? It's pretty good. But we're not satisfied with good, are we here?
No, we aren't.
No, we got to give you better. We got to give you great.
We want exceptional gutter shit.
So each week, producer Mel goes up to our chicken coop at the top of our hill and gets a pick from one of our pet chickens, and she never disappoints. We give you Kitty the chicken.
All right, so for the first time, Kitty has slipped below 500.
6 and 7, man. She's really been hurting lately.
But fear not, she slayed in the NFL this weekend, so she's good with the bookie.
Money lined the Redskins to win.
Yep, exactly.
Money lined the Redskins.
Nobody saw that coming.
They just fucked up their entire draft.
She also money lined the Jets over the Raiders.
Ooh.
She had a good weekend with the NFL.
So this week, Kitty the Chicken kindly asked that we get back to the basics as she wants to get back on her winning ways. So I gave her Liverpool hosting Brighton. And without missing a beat, she pulled out a picture out of the coop because, her coop is huge.
Got all kinds of shit in there,
all
too.
kinds of shit. And apparently, she was once upon a time courtside after a Lakers game with LeBron James, Samuel L. Jackson, and Dr. Dre, because that's how my chicken rolls.
Baller.
And they're all avid Red fans, and since they were clearly together and not alone, Kitty is taking Liverpool to win this week.
See what you did there. Not alone.
LeBron
Kitty's
James
so
also
clever.
part owner of Liverpool.
Why, yes, he is.
Yep.
And so there we go, everybody. Now remember to always gamble legally and responsibly.
I hope Kitty gets off the slide here, gets back to Mount 500.
All right, guys. So this is where, in the show, for all the new listeners, where we talk about our adult league team briefly. We are Drunkard United, and we play in the Division I Open League, so no age limit. And we're all older, and they're all younger and faster, but we're wily as fuck. And
AKA, we are dirty as fuck.
could be a little bit, but we always try to be fair as we can, and we always help people up, and we're not dicks about it, which some people are.
You fairly tackle every single guy on the field.
For the most part, yes. Anyway, this past week we drew 4-4.
Yeah.
One of the team we closed the season out against last season, African United, which a bunch of our friends played for that team that we know from up there. One of them I know personally. We played together in college. Good guy named Rafi. But tied 4-4. Was a little bit unfortunate here or there.
Exceptionally physical game.
Yeah, it was very physical.
Exceptionally physical match.
A big dude up front that I was having. I mean, it was fun. I had a field day with it.
Oh, you as a defender, you love that shit.
Oh, it was great. And even Chris, who ended up getting injured early on in the game, was sitting on the sideline watching us go and made the remark to you, didn't he? He said, I wish I was out there.
He was like, God, I wish I was
Yeah.
on the pitch right now.
So it was a lot of fun. Shut him down. Not a problem. What you worried about? And we got out of there with a draw. First point of the season. We're 2 games in, 1 point, sitting in 5th, I think.
Yeah, right in fifth.
We'll be okay. Top 4
We'll
go
do.
to the playoffs after 7 weeks. Weeks 8 and 9 are semifinals and finals. First place 4th, second place 3rd. 2 winners play each other on the 9th week, and then we start it all over again.
Yep, there's never a break for us.
Nope.
Christmas will be about the only break. Christmas,
Yeah, and
New
New
Year's,
Year's
those-
depending on what
yeah,
day they fall on.
Those 2 weeks they'll shut
Yeah.
down, and then they'll be back to business in January.
Yeah, so this year we actually get 2 weeks off in a row because Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are on Tuesdays.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so we get 2 weeks off in a row, which would be nice because we're older. Be nice to actually recover a little bit from the ailments that bug us frequently.
So where do I sit in on all of this is I used to be the goalkeeper for One Said Drunker United.
But he got old first.
Yes, I got old first. So I'm in my...
Happens when you're born first.
Yeah.
Typically.
I'm going to be turning 47 at the end of the year, and I retired at 40.
And I'll be 34 in May.
So I...
And I'm 29.
Again.
Yes. And you're hitting the fucking mute button.
She also doesn't play with us.
Yes. So after I finished playing soccer, I needed to fill the empty hole inside of me that was clawing away at me. And the way I do that is I stand on the sidelines and yell. I quote-unquote coach the team, which is really me more just screaming at them and them screaming at me, and yet somehow this completes me.
And it works. And then we sit and drink beer afterwards in the parking lot, hence our name.
That is the most important thing. We drink a lot of alcohol. So that about wraps it up. Sammy, any parting words?
Yeah, real quick. We've been getting a lot of communication on the Instagram, on the Facebook, and on Twitter. And I just wanted to thank Jose and a few others that have been getting in touch during matches and sharing funny videos and sharing memes and stuff about how shite their teams are. We talked about Chris, down in Houston.
Paul with the Wolves in Houston.
with the Wolves. Lindsay, obviously, with Villa here in D.C.
Alan with Newcastle in Baltimore.
Newcastle, yep. Keith also. And then Ray with Manchester United has also been reaching out a lot. He did have a quick question that I didn't see for last week.
Oh, yeah,
wanted
this
to
was a
ask
good
you
one,
real
too.
quick.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what Manchester United should do with Pogba once he's fit? And he can't play the 10, even though that's where they're going to try to put him. What do you think they're going to do?
I mean, they're going to try to do what they can and have him play the remainder of the season because, frankly, as crippling as he can be at times, he's also that good of a player.
Yeah.
And you saw this team this weekend without McTominay, and they were hurting to be able to create from the middle of the field. I imagine in this summer he's moving on. I don't know, maybe to the new Miami FC since this past week he decided to fly down to Miami while he's quote-unquote hurt to go watch the Miami Heat play.
Nice.
Sorry about that.
What I think is I'm not sure what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing with him. He's not a number 10.
No.
At all.
He's a box-to-box.
He's a number 8.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a box-to-box that's going to pick a pass, and that's...
Same thing, Unai Emery and Danny Ceballos. Why you want to, force these square holes? Why do you want to force these squares into circle holes? I don't get. They're two of the better players. Paul Pogba's one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world, period.
Right.
Danny Ceballos is up and coming. Why you want them to attempt to play a number 10 is ridiculous. They also, neither manager, sets up the team to have a number 10 in the team, really.
No.
At all. So
both of them play pretty much a 4-3-3.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
those three midfielders are normally in the middle of the field. They're not out wide.
Exactly. So you don't really create the environment to utilize these players correctly. What I hope happens is when he's fit, he sits his happy ass right on the bench because United has started to look better. He won't, though. No. And they'll be more frail, and they will concede more goals again.
McTominay and Fred aren't world beaters, and Pogba is a clearly better player than both of them. But the two of them have seemed to meet some level of communication and have got it together.
Correct. So with that, I just want to say that when Ryan Bertrand set that ball down to play Danny Ings in for Southampton's first goal, the ball was rolling, and I'll leave you with this thought for me. Fuck VAR.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time, another show previewing the weekend's matches. If you'd like to know more, check out our Patreon. And until next week, everybody.
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow. Good night.
Well, at some point, you'll finally pick a fucking winner.
Maybe.